When the husband got home from work, his wife thoughtfully brought him a glass of drink, but he was suspicious of the drink and casually poured it into a flower pot. The candlelit dinner made Pete really scared, but he could only sit properly. While his wife was in the kitchen, he secretly hid the dinner knife in his pocket. Unexpectedly, his wife came out with another knife. Pete's face immediately turned pale. He quickly grabbed his wife's hand and said, "Let me do it instead." But the next second, he was stunned again because there was an even bigger knife in his wife's apron. The delicious steak was hard to swallow. Pete chewed it for a few minutes. Only when he saw his wife also eating did he reluctantly swallow it. He poured a glass of red wine for his wife and then deliberately dropped the wine bottle to test her. Julie's instinctive reaction was to catch it firmly. But this action revealed that she had extraordinary skills, so she had to let go of the red wine in her hand. But it was already too late at this point. The two of them ran back to their respective rooms. When the man came out, he had a gun in his hand, while Julie drove the car and fled in a hurry. Pete chased after her all the way from the garden, but he simply couldn't catch up with the car. However, he didn't give up. He needed to have a good talk with his wife. But when he was climbing over the fence, he accidentally had an accidental discharge. The bullet just hit the windshield. Julie was extremely surprised and couldn't believe that Pete really dared to shoot. In a fit of rage, she wouldn't listen to a single word of explanation. Julie stepped on the gas pedal and knocked Pete over, pushed him onto the sunroof and continued to run away. Pete suddenly shattered the car window and got into the car. But Julie dropped the steering wheel and jumped out of the car to escape, letting the car drive into the grove without anyone driving it. He definitely didn't dare to go back home. Pete, looking dejected, went to his good friend's house. He wanted to stay there for the night. Julie had no choice but to go to her best friend. Her best friend advised her to kill her husband once and for all. "Anyway, you don't love him," she said. Julie readily agreed on the surface, but she was also very hesitant in her heart. Early the next morning, she came back home with her subordinates and turned the house upside down. When Pete came back, he found that the weapons storage room had been completely emptied. Those were his collections of more than 10 years. Pete decided to take revenge. Julie asked her subordinates to analyze her husband comprehensively and make sure to find out where he was. But they didn't know that Pete was lurking in the ventilation duct at that moment. When Julie found out, she ordered an immediate retreat. Her subordinates quickly activated the self-destruction device and destroyed all the data on the hard drive. They broke the window glass, launched the zipline, and flew directly to the opposite building. At this time, Pete also dropped from the sky. Originally, he had the chance to take out Julie, but he just couldn't bring himself to do it. In the end, he could only watch his wife float away into the distance. Before leaving, he didn't forget to mock Julie for being a coward, and Julie retorted that her husband was a sissy. The time left for them was running out. Pete collected a little clue from the self-destruction device left by his wife and found her new office that was being renovated. Pete disguised himself as a construction worker and went to the building, but he didn't know that this was actually a trap. The elevator suddenly stopped. Then a voice came from the control room, asking if he needed an engineer to come and take a look. Pete certainly knew what was going on because the person speaking was Julie, just with her voice changed by a processor. Julie warned Pete to get out quickly. They had installed explosives above the elevator, and if he didn't leave, she would detonate the bomb. Pete didn't believe that his wife would do that. He said confidently, "Bring it on."